I'll go ahead and just start with a couple of minutes, just a quick overview and welcome from SCORE. My name's Janine and I work with SCORE Utah. SCORE Utah, as with every SCORE chapter, is a uh, entirely free mentoring and business development resource for small businesses. So, as I mentioned, we do free mentoring. If you are starting a business, you're trying to grow a business, you're trying to diversify a business, we may have some mentors that can help you. We offer a lot of webinars and workshops locally. This is one of those, and we do these on a regular basis. These webinars are also recorded, and there's also courses that are on demand. So you can go back into the SCORE website and find these and other types of educational information on demand at any time. And there is a huge online library with SCORE. If you are looking for startup guides or templates or checklists and all those types of things, we have many of them. You're welcome to go out and take any of those and pull them down for absolutely free. There's no cost. And if you have an interest in mentoring for us or with us, we'd love to talk to you. Or if you are a business owner and you'd like to do more mentoring, or you'd like to, if you have folks that are looking for a mentor, please feel free to reach out. This is just a quick slide. If you want to get in touch with the chapter, anyone at the chapter, you can scan that QR code if you like. You can also call us or send us an email, and we're available. We have about 34 volunteers now. We'd love to have more. If you know anyone that is looking for the ability to make a difference in a small business owner's success. With that, I'm going to stop sharing that screen and I am going to welcome Ben Floyd. Some of you may have been on an earlier webinar that we had, about a month ago or so, Ben, where he kind of introduced us to AI. And he and I were talking, we really need to do more of this. And so we talked about doing this crawl, walk, and run series where crawling today is going to be, how do I do this? I don't know that much about it. And then the rest of the series is going to help you get up and start walking and running. So with that, I'm going to turn over to Ben. Ben is a great instructor, and we're going to let you take it over at this point and share your screen. Thank you,
Okay.
Ben.
Thanks, Janine. I just sent you a PDF file that everyone, the bonus for taking the time out for being here today, you're going to get a PDF file at the end that you can take with you that will have not only the prompts that I go through today, but it will have a whole bunch of bonus prompts that will help you and your small business or get your idea for your small business going. So it's a bonus added value because there's just too much to cover. As Janine was saying, this is the first part of our crawl, walk, run series. Some of you might find this to be too basic, but the whole idea is today we want to give you the foundation. We want to get you the basics of using AI. And right now, you guys are right on the cusp of something big that's about to happen with AI. And I'll let you know what that is at the end. And we're going to get you a good foundation, and that's the crawl part. And then here in 2 weeks, we're going to meet again, and I'm going to teach you how to walk with AI. And we're going to introduce some things like some variables. And then 2 more weeks after that into August, we'll run with AI. So it's just kind of like Lego blocks or Lincoln Logs. We're going to start to build upon each other. So with that, I'm going to get up and running here. If I can hit the right foot pedal there. Here we go. Let me make one more adjustment here, and we will be off and running. Make sure I got the bottom half. All right. So this is our Utah, Arizona SCORE chapter that we're doing this, and I sure do appreciate them letting me come in here. I'm Ben Floyd with Professional Masterclass Series, and now is the good time to get your note-taking items out, whatever works best for you. As Janine said, there's going to be a recording of this, but taking notes and the way that you remember things is usually the best way to reinforce any learning that you will come across today. As I just mentioned, this is the 3-part series where today we're going to learn how to do the crawl part, the foundation. There's going to be some core components that we will cover of what is generative AI, what's an LLM. I'm going to give you a couple of at least three prompts that are relevant to your business, and we'll identify some workflows with AI that can help automate or streamline your business today. And then, like I said, in 2 weeks, we'll cover the walk portion, and then we'll cover the run portion. We're going to be covering things. If you read the outcomes that they're already posted on the SCORE website, you'll see things that say chain of thought, reasoning, and you'll see iterative and incremental development. And we like to use big fancy words that are coming up. So with that, what we find is most people that are using and talking about AI love to throw out prompts that are out there, and they tell you this is the world's greatest prompt, and this prompt right here is going to do this, that, and the other thing for you. And what you really need is a strong foundation of how these generative AI machines work. And you would be surprised. Most people tell you use this prompt, but what they don't tell you is you already have most of the skills you need to get everything you need out of these machines. These are just tools. So even though a lot of people throw out prompts, and I like to use big fancy words and be superfluous, don't buy into it. You do have the skills to work with AI and to get ahead of it. So, I'm so smart. If I start getting too big for my britches and start throwing around fancy words, jump into the chat and just say, I failed. Listen, Batman, you failed. Say, listen, I do not understand what you just said. I don't know what that word was. That's above my pay grade. Can you explain that a little bit more for me? And I'll be happy to do it. And it, again, there's nothing in I almost fell for it myself, in any of the AI LLMs, large language models, that you should not be able to understand and run with yourself. So with that, what is AI? And AI is essentially just a tool. It's no different than your laptop. It's no different than using Google. It's no different than your favorite word processor. It's another tool. It's a very powerful tool. It's a game-changing tool. And if you stick with this 3-part series, you're going to see how this tool right here can be your number one tool that makes a difference for your business. And as any good craftsman will tell you, there's always the right tool for the right job. So being able to use these tools and get the right information is critical on how we're going to move forward with this. So go ahead and drop in the chat channel, which AI tool are you using right now? Let me see what answers you come up with. ChatGPT, Grok, ChatGPT. I see Leonard AI, ChatGPT 4.0, Grok, Gemini is in there. Perplexity, good, Sheila. Copilot. Tally and Leslie, are you using Copilot because that's what your work is bundling and having you use? Tally says yes, exactly. I see Perplexity and Gemini in there. Dave says, I'm curious why someone in the U.S. would use Mistrial, which Dave, are you saying you're French? I'm not French. Okay. Well, we're going to talk about that here in just a second. It is a French company. And Jose's paying $20 a month for the ChatGPT and the Gemini version. All right. Sweet. I think we almost covered the spectrum here. So here are the most common tools. And what I'm finding right now, let me move this over just a little bit for everyone. What I'm finding is most people, when you say AI, they say ChatGPT. It's going to become like when you say a tissue, people say Kleenex. When we used to say we make things like a Xerox instead of a copy. And I think most people are going to say AI, they mean, or they'll say, I use ChatGPT. The other ones are, as we just heard in there, Google Gemini. Pop quiz, does anyone know the first name of Google Gemini? What was its first iteration, its first name? It was not born Google Gemini. It was something else. Yes, good job, Dave. It was Bard. It was Bard for a short while, and we're going to talk about that in a second. It was a disaster, says Jose. Microsoft Copilot. Now, here's the interesting thing about Copilot. They are embedding it for free into their browser and into enterprise tools like Microsoft Word and PowerPoint, and especially their Microsoft Teams online management tool. They're embedding it. So a lot of companies are say, hey, I have to use Copilot. That's the only one my company's letting me use. So we can talk about that too, of how to use other tools, but Copilot is embedded. What's really interesting is Microsoft has invested so far year to date in previous years over $80 billion into AI development, with most of that going towards OpenAI and ChatGPT work, more so than Copilot. It's an interesting dynamic that Microsoft has with OpenAI. Perplexity. Someone mentioned Perplexity they were using. I did not see anybody mention this next one. Claude, one of my favorites. Claude is a great tool. LeChat and Mistral. Dave was asking, why would someone use LeChat and Mistral? This was created over in Paris. It was created by 4 people in less than 6 months, and it was fully developed. And then nobody mentioned Meta. Facebook used this one. And I see someone said many options to choose from. And that's a good thing, because when the court systems shake loose, after I talk about this next part, some of these may not exist after the court systems are done with them. Anyone know why I say that? Why would the court systems have a say in this and they would not exist maybe in 5 to 10 years? All right, probably the copyright issue, how they are trained. You guys are right on top of this. Yes, it is how they were trained and how they got their copyright information. That is the number one thing that's going to come down the pipe and say, how did you get your information? And was it copyright material or was it not? It's like having the Wall Street Journal. There's a certain number of years that it's protected, going back whether or not you had a subscription or not. And that's where the courts are going to have to determine is, hey, OpenAI, if you paid for a membership into the Wall Street Journal, does that entitle you to train on all of that information going back within the copyright period? And that's what they're going to argue is, hey, we paid for a membership. We're allowed to download these papers. We're allowed to share them. Why are we not allowed to train our machines on them? So it will be a very interesting court case that comes out of these. That's assuming that they did pay for a membership. All right. So what is AI and how is it different than any of these other tools that we've been using? So the first thing is these are what's called, this part of AI, these are GPTs. Anyone know what the GPT stands for? Love you guys being so involved in this. This is great. I wonder if people are quickly typing it into their favorite tool right now to get the answer back. That's all right. It's easy to forget. I'm just a dork that always stays on top of this. Global processing. Nope, that's not it. Generative pre-trained transformer is exactly right. So the G stands for generative. The P stands for pre-trained. And the T stands for transformer. And no, it's not that transformer that you're thinking of.
Like us, there's more to them than meets the eye.
Not that transformer. So the G, generative, it generates new information. It generates a new image. It generates a new essay. It generates new advertising for you. It generates a new email campaign for you. It can generate information about your competitors. It can generate, based on your competitors in your area, what are they doing on social media? What is their main theme? What is their main persuasive argument? What is their hook? And generate a list for you that you can download. That's what the G stands for. The P is pre-trained. And this is the key factor, which is where someone earlier just said, sorry, my Zoom window is not showing me names. Let me see if I can scooch things over so I can see more names so I can call people. There we go. Now I can see names. Let me go back and see who it was. Jose said many options to choose from. And that's what's key here is the P stands for pre-trained. So the way that ChatGPT was pre-trained is completely different than the way Meta AI was trained. And the way that Copilot was trained is completely different than the way that Claude or Perplexity was pre-trained. So it's continually learning. It's continually adding new information. When all of these GPTs started coming out for public use in November of 2022, they were pre-trained. And and they used to have cutoff dates. Now, here's the interesting thing. You've got to have someone that keeps feeding the information and keeps the data accurate. It's like keeping fresh bread in the house at all times. You can't just buy a loaf of bread and let it sit in a very humid climate and think it's going to be good bread. Everyone here knows it won't. It's going to get moldy, it's going to get stale, it's going to have to get tossed. The exact same premise happens with these AI GPTs. The data gets old. The data gets out of date. The data has to be continually fed with new information. And the technology is moving so fast that most of these LLMs, these large language models, these AIs that we just talked about, they're keeping up with current 2025 information now, which they didn't do 2.5 years ago. So it used to be a hard cutoff. Now it's not. And that's why when certain companies like McKinsey and Company, and they created their own in-house Lily, they need a team of people that just maintain new data and keeping the old data up to date inside their GPTs. So the pre-trained is what separates and differentiates why you get different answers from Claude than you do from GPT. Why you get a different answer from Perplexity than you do from Meta. And then finally, the transformer. The transformer part means that it's really good at math, and it's really good at guessing where you're going with this. Now, here's where this tool differs than what you're used to with, say, Google Chrome. Google and Safari, what they used to do is they had spiders and they would crawl the web. And they would go out and find the different websites and they would say, okay, you're asking about pizza and you're looking for the best pizza while you're in New Haven, Connecticut. Okay, I know what that is. Here's the highest review ones. I've already searched for it. I'm going to return because I know your phone or your computer is within the New Haven region. I'm going to give you these recommendations because I've already gone out and crawled this and these are the highest reviews. Oh, I can see that you're sitting in San Francisco and you're over by Little Italy. The best pizza is going to be Golden Boys, and here it is, and it's going to crawl and give it back to you. What makes this tool different is the transformer part. Is it's crunching all the data that it has, and it's going to use that math and come up with the next sequence for you. And this is how it can create music. This is how it can create images. This is how it can take all of your competitors' YouTube videos, compress all of their transcripts, and say, okay, based on the way that you like to do business, based on the tone that you like and the vibe that you like for your business, here's their winning formula. I can transform that to your winning formula. And here's how we're going to do it. So that's how it's different, completely different than traditional web browsers. So that's what makes this a great tool. No, and I saw in the chat channel, I have not used Otter myself. All right. And I love it when people jump in with any questions as we're going along. If I'm going too fast, or if I use something, a word that like I said earlier, trying to be a smarty pants, just jump right in and catch me on those. So all of these are in your PDF file, the links to them. Here is the first tip I'm going to give you. You should always have at least 3 of these LLMs open at all times. How many of you use Google Chrome? Chris does. Barry does. Tamara does. Sheila occasionally does. Okay. Chris, Randy, Barry, Tamara, Sheila, Shane, Agostino, I hope I said that right, Tally. Do you know about the group function of tabs within Chrome? Jeff, rarely. Do you guys know how to use the group function of tabs within Chrome? I've heard of it. No, says Sheila. No. Okay, here's the biggest dork in the world telling you a new feature. The tab feature, the group feature, I create a group just for AI. And what happens when I open up Chrome is I usually have at least 3 groups open up. One group is just for AI, and every single one of these that you see right here on the screen on the right-hand side, every single one of these AI generative AI open up in a separate tab for me within that group. I have another group that has a just for email, and I've got so many email accounts, it keeps them all together. And then I have another one that is just for my Google Drives. And so it's very easy. I don't have to go through the work of going and purposely going to find these websites again. They're automatically there for me every single time. So it's a quick shortcut. I don't know if Safari has groups. I think they do. If anyone here uses Safari, if you could let me know if they have groups for your tabs when you're using Safari, that would be good information to know. So it's a quick, easy way. Yes, says Jack. I was hoping Jack was there and Jack could tell me. So that's another way to do it, is if you're on Safari, is to group these together. Now, I love to have 3 of these open. In my case, I have all of them open, because here comes one of the most powerful commands that you can learn right now. You've always had it, but nobody's ever taught it to you. Everyone just says, use this prompt, use this prompt. And I'm going to teach you a much better way than following everyone else. The very most powerful command that you can use with generative AI is...
You could copy paste it, modify it a little.
In case you couldn't hear that, it was...
You could copy paste it, modify it a little.
That's right. Copy and paste. So when you go to your favorite LLM, you go to ChatGPT and you say, look at my competitor, even if it's a restaurant, like I was saying for Golden Boy Pizza in San Francisco. You could say, can you figure out what is the main sausage and the distributor that Golden Boy Pizza uses in Little Italy in San Francisco? And then you could copy that prompt out of ChatGPT. And because you have been keeping all those other AI tabs open, all you have to do is copy that same prompt that you wrote, paste it over there into Meta, paste it over there into Claude, paste it over there into Perplexity, and boom, you'll have 3 separate answers because they were all trained differently. And they will, hopefully, 2 of them will say it's most likely from this distributors where they're getting their sausage. And one of them might come back and say, I have no idea. You might want to give Golden Boy a call. Here's their direct phone number that's not published. And then you're like, great, terrific. So the idea is, whenever you're trying to drill down, and I see a few of the questions coming in, is whenever you have a great idea, or you're like, I want to write a new email campaign, or I want to see what my competitor is doing, here are their YouTube shorts. Copy and paste that into the other ones, and then you can pick the best information from each AI one. Don't get hooked into just using one AI all the time, because they're all trained differently. So let me take a look at what some of these questions are here. As you go along today, examples of how AI can be used for restaurants, that would be helpful. So Jeff, again, some of the things I would do for restaurants is you can capture like reviews for a restaurant that you want to emulate, or one that's just crushing it, and say, study all of these reviews on Yelp, study all of these Google reviews. What is the most common top 3 comments that they receive within the last 2 years? What are their negative comments? Do they use discounts? You can find competitor information and know how they're crushing it and what you want to do. You can also say, if I'm running a Euro food truck, you could ask for things like, where have other Euro food trucks around the USA, where have they been able to increase their margins? Has it been by a cross sell? Has it been by something with a higher margin? Where can I increase my margins? And again, copy and paste your questions into at least 2 other, if not 3 or 4 other of these generative AIs. And you'll be surprised at the answers you will get from anywhere from reviews to main comments to bad comments to where you increase your profit margins. Let's see here. Dave was talking about fave icons, which makes it easy for me to click back and forth. Yep. Yeah, it's really easy. They do show you exactly which one is ChatGPT and which one's Claude, and that's why I love using the group feature as well. Jose, what are your comments about these prompting classes, and if there's anyone that you can recommend? Jose, I would recommend you stick through this for the next month, as we 2 weeks from now when we do the walk series, then 2 weeks after that when we do the run series. And you may not need any of those prompting classes. You're going to find out that you've kind of got all the skills that you need. And I'm going to show you a couple today. We're going to finish out here in the next 25 minutes with a few prompts that are going to surprise you, that we just got to get you thinking, and we're going to learn from each other. And you'll say, yeah, I can crush this myself, but I would definitely not pay for one at this time, not just for prompting, because you can do this. That's why I want to show you the absolute most powerful command in any of these AIs is copy and paste. Chris says, I've been doing copy and paste, and then when I find 2 good responses, I've combined them and get even better response. Great job, Chris. It's exactly what I was hoping people would know about and do. But it's one of those things, Chris, that almost nobody talks about, nobody mentions and says, here's a basic one that you should be doing. Dave, the way that you would combine them is you can copy them right out of the LLMs and paste them into a Google Doc or a Word doc offline. And one of the best things that you can do is copy the prompt that you started with, and then below it, start pasting the different answers. And one of the absolute best things, pop quiz again, does anyone know, going all the way back, way back in our past to November of 2022, does anyone remember what were the 2 basic formats that you could only enter in inputs for AI to learn from? There was 2 basic formats when it first went public. ChatGPT and Bard only took 2 things for it to learn from. Does anyone know what those 2 formats were? Text, yes, but in a certain format. Text had to be what format? Images, no. Text it could not be a Word document. It had to be a certain type of text document. Does anyone remember? Yeah, it would take a plain text. It loves PDF files. It still loves PDF files. So anytime that you copy something out and you're using a Google Doc or a Word doc, always save it off as a PDF file. It's one of its most native files that it's ever used, and it will always accept it. The other one was Python language scripting, and nobody wants to go out and just learn Python language scripting. Yes, and nowadays it will take One of the big things coming out with ChatGPT 5 this month is it will be a multimodal experience, which means you can drop in any video that you want and it will be able to generate transcripts. It will be able to generate new videos based off of the video that you input. It will learn if it will know by analyzing the video if it's a comedy, if it was satire. It will know that it's an informative video that's trying to teach someone on how to catch fish off of a dock by the ocean. It will take songs and it will say, okay, you've entered in 5 MP3s and now you're asking me to help write a love song that are similar to these from Journey and REO Speedwagon. Gotcha, I see what you like. I can help you write the next one like that. So it's going to be an amazing experience of what types of formats it will allow, and that should drop by the end of the month. So remember, copy and paste is not just to go from one AI, Boston, I agree, AC/DC, Kansas, keep going, Randy. So copy and paste, not just to put them in with your prompts, but also to copy out the answers and put them into a plain text file for you offline as well. All right, let's keep going here. The next thing, talk to the ChatGPT, talk to Claude and Perplexity and Gemini like it's a real conversation. Okay? Don't talk to it with just closed end yes or no type of things. Have a conversation. Randy is about my age. Randy is someone that likes bands from the 80s and songs that were 4 to 4.5 minutes, and we're okay with the Eagles and 6-minute long ones. And I'm implying that, Randy, because of why you said Boston. And whereas I've had a child that says, oh, anything longer than 3 minutes is too long. I can't stand it. I mean, they have an attention span of a gnat now. And I show them some Pink Floyd or some something, that's 6 minutes long, and they're just rolling their eyes at me. And they just can't take it. So have a conversation. Politeness, it used to matter. Man, I used to get some rage going when the stupid thing wouldn't follow my directions. Politeness just wastes time and confuses it, actually. And you don't have to capitalize anything. You don't actually have to end with the period. However, when you have a real conversation, short sentences. So here's an example that would not be a good prompt. And I'm going to take it right from the chat channel. Hey, ChatGPT, I want to write a new top 40 rock and roll song. I really like Boston. I'm not sure that I understand how this works with LLM. I know that you're going to be able to take new MP3s. Can you take them yet? So I'm going to upload every top Boston song that I've ever heard. I might add a few Kansas songs in there, but really focus on the way that Boston did their greatest hits. And I'd like to have a song that's between 4.5 and 6 minutes long in MP3 format. And I should have a backup just in WAV format just to be safe. And then make sure that there's a chorus that repeats every 1 minute and 12 seconds long. It has to be exactly 1 minute and 12 seconds where the chorus happens. And then the last 30 seconds, I just want to kind of have it fade out where you're hearing the chorus and the music fades out over the last 30 seconds. Period. Go. That is a terrible prompt. It's trying to take everything I just said and make it work. So Dave, yeah, short sentences are the best. it handles periods better than it handles commas. It is much better to do a period and then a short little sentence, period, than it is to use a comma. All generative AIs get confused when you start doing too many commas or semicolons. Okay, if you need to keep adding things on, it's better to get a base of what you want and then add on to that. So, for example, you can use ChatGPT or Meta right now to generate an image, and they're doing pretty good. They're not mid-journey level type of things or DALL-E, but they're not bad either. And it would be best to say, I would like a 3-panel image, period, that is photorealistic, period. I want to feature how a LLM works, period. In the first panel, I would like XYZ, period. In the second panel, I would like XYZ, period. In the third panel, I would like XYZ, period. That's a great prompt, and it can handle that. And it's a big prompt, but it's a bunch of small ones put together with simple sentences. And it will work very well to generate that image for me now, or to generate that song, or whatever it is that I'm looking to do. Short prompts will work every time versus a run-on sentence. Dave, you're saying also heard negative and exclusions without or not aren't well understood. Yes, it is better to go with what you want versus what you want to exclude. If it comes back with something that you did not want, it's easier to say, try again, period. I don't want XYZ, period. And then just have it run again. All right. I don't want to leave you guys hanging in the last 15 minutes, so I have to keep going. Here's a cardinal rule. Always fact check. Are they giving you facts or are they making stuff up? This last version of ChatGPT 4.0 and 4.5, I don't know if anyone else noticed, but they went out of their way to be absolutely pleasing you. It went so far over the top to please you. It was ad nauseum trying to please you. And I actually went into my prompts and said, don't try to please me. I don't want you to be a yes person. Those were things I put into my prompts. I need the straight up truth. I need straight up facts. Because what these LLMs will do is if they don't know the pattern, if they can't figure out the next step, then they lie. And the whole industry got together and said, yeah, we don't want to put a tool out there and let people say it just lies. So we're going to call it something softer. We're going to call it a hallucination. It's something out of the 60s everyone used to do. And we're just going to call it a hallucination. That goes down easier. It's like a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down, right? So they just called it hallucinations. It's just making crap up. It's lying to you. So you always have to fact check. Now, if you start using Claude and Perplexity, what makes them so powerful is it will always give you a link to the resource that it found the information from. So you don't even have to ask. And Dave likes the word hallucination. It's come around. It still varies. Like I said, this last version of 4.0 and 4.5 just went so far over the top trying to be agreeable and amiable with you. It was sickening. It was enough where the press was even picking up on it. And you had to tell it to stop just trying to please you and give me the facts. Ask the same question to 2 or 3 LLMs at the same time? You bet, Jose, because you're going to hopefully find some gold nuggets out of at least 2, if not all 3 of the LLMs all at once. And yeah, Randy, that's why I like Perplexity, is you get the facts and you can quote where you got them from. What I do with ChatGPT and Gemini is I actually say, I want you to get me resources from sources like Stanford University or Harvard Business Review or from McKinsey and Company. I want to find a trusted resource. I don't want it just relying on what it was trained on. And so it will always look for that. Dave says, you should take note that Grok's AI's model is mostly based on Twitter X data. That's a good reason to stay away from it. All right. So this is where a follow-up prompt that you can use, which is just ask it, where did you get your facts from? Where did you get your information from? Literally just type that in and then copy and paste it into the other ones. Where did you get that information from? Ask it to reveal its sources. Again, Perplexity and Claude, it will always give you the resources, but the ones that don't, push back on it. And then you can, if you don't like where it received its information, or it will say, I'm sorry, I didn't get that from a reliable source. Let me go check again. Then you know it was trying to push you a big sandwich of bologna right there. Yeah, you love the cyberware font. I actually was going to throw in some more Skynet and Whopper and things like that. Here's one of the best business. These next 4 are some of the 4 best business prompts that I think you should use if you're in business. What advice would you give if you were Jeff Bezos during the startup phase? What advice would Jeff Bezos give me to get revenue flowing? Now, you can plug in any name that you would want. Jeff Bezos went around to almost everyone that he knew in his inner circle and asked for $75,000 and said, there's about a 75% chance you will not see this money back. There's a 25% chance I can actually make this work where I can sell books online. And I'm going to take it public within a year, maybe 2 years, and you'll get X amount of these common share stocks. That's what 75,000, if you believe in me, that's what I'm going to do with it. And he got 10 people to invest $750,000 that way. So asking the LLM, give me some advice on a startup like Jeff Bezos did. Or give me some ideas like Jeff Bezos was in the room on to get revenue flowing. Same question. What would J.K. Rowling give you advice for at startup? You talk about someone from humble beginnings. What would J.K. Rowling do to help keep revenue flowing? Warren Buffett. Well, he would turn to Charlie. But you could, again, plug in any name that you want to. This is a very powerful prompt, and this is a common sense prompt. You can put in any name that you can think of and someone that you respect and admire and say, what would they tell me right now? You don't have to sit there and say, if Oprah Winfrey was sitting on my couch and Tom Cruise was bouncing around on it, what advice would they give me? Just find someone that you know maybe it was the inventor of UPS. UPS has been around like 110 years, 115 years. What advice would they give me now in the year 2025? What would they do if they had to start revenue? If you really want to talk about gamblers and what they would do, look what Fred Smith did in the early 80s to keep FedEx afloat. So what advice would Fred Smith give you? Very simple. Copy and paste it. Keep going. Here's another one. Here's an email campaign that did not perform well last week. Rewrite it so it has an emotional hook and a question so people want to open it. Then I want you to give me 3 different versions of this so I can pick and choose which one I like the best. Again, copy and paste this into 3 different LLMs. I had some email campaigns that were showing me some numbers that were showing a lot of opens and a lot of clicks, 0 signups. And I wish I had stopped within those 6 weeks and run this through. And this is everyone knows that your email list is your gold. So this is one that you can quickly analyze what's working, what's not working. How do I pivot? Again, copy and paste is your best command, and you already knew that. All right, time for Q&A. Hopefully you've got the skills to crawl, and in 2 weeks, on Tuesday, 2 weeks from today, we will be learning to walk. How can I get this webinar recording? Well, you have to send me some Bitcoin, and you will not believe Janine's price. She is more expensive than me, so I'm just telling you.
For free.
She's for free. Well, it's not me. Jack, there's no hope.
Oh, something froze.
Start using some group tabs and set up where Perplexity, ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, and Google Gemini open with your browser every day. So that way you can copy and paste your prompts into those other AIs and start to see those results. It's one thing to hear about it in this last hour. It's something entirely different to see how that changes you in the next 2 weeks. Chris is asking Janine, will you be sending out appointments for the next few sessions?
No, they're available. If you go to the Score Utah website, you're going to see those scheduled out there, so you can just go ahead and sign up online. And to Jose's question, everybody who attends this webinar in the future too will get copies of it sent to them, the recording or a PDF. So, but the recording will be stored on the Score Utah website as well. It takes about a week or so for it to download. So, watch for it, but you can go back out and look at it again.
My biggest caution is whatever you do when you're trying multiple AIs is make sure you don't wake up Whopper or Skynet or aggravate Vicky or Hal, and don't poke the bear, okay?
All right. Got some more.
Sterling, oh yeah, we should probably drop the PDF again. I've got a PDF file for you. You want me to drop it, or do you have it?
No, go ahead. It's at the beginning of the chat too. You should be able to find it there as well. But
all right, I'll drop it in the chat channel. This is your part 1 for you. This is has several of those prompts that I just had for you, but it will also have some gold nuggets. I just dropped it in the chat channel for you. And you will see there's also about 5 pages where it shows somebody put together a fact sheet of here's some here's the best ChatGPT for this, and here's the best one for that. And what I did was I took you through and showed you here's why you don't want to get something like that. And as you look through those 5 pages, you will see that 2 of the top rated items they had in there no longer exist. One of them was Google Bard, and the other one is Microsoft Bing. And this is a document that people are still putting out there, and it has very little use. I mean, don't waste your time on something like that. You've got the brains, you've got the tools. Just think, have a conversation with the AI, short sentences, short prompts, copy it from one AI, paste it, paste it, paste it, see where the results are coming back, then think, now what would Jeff Bezos say? What would Sarah say? And you'll start to get better and better results, and you'll start to figure it out, and you'll start to learn different ways to ask it. And you're like, oh, I'm getting this. My emails are really dialed in now. Now let me see what I can do for my YouTubes. And I've got things in that PDF file for you that will take you even deeper. And so it'll set you up very nicely for in 2 weeks for the walk session.
Ben, it looks like somebody's asking if we'll use the same PDF for all 3 of the sessions, and I assume that's a yes.
No, this one, the one I gave them today, strictly focuses on the crawl portion. And there's about 10 extra prompts. It's in the chat channel, Sterling. It gives them several more prompts that I didn't have time to cover in the hour. I didn't want to rush everybody. And you should be able to see an attachment with my name. If you see the avatar with my face, that looks better as an avatar than my real face. Right next to it is a PDF file. Everyone's saying they're not seeing it.
I can see it.
I can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Some folks are getting it.
Jeff got it. Tally got it. Okay, scroll up a little higher. You may have to open up your chat window a little bit wider. Opening the chat window wider in Zoom is usually a good thing to do. I'm on a phone, okay? And if you are at work, your work Zoom may have blocked access as well. If you're on a work Zoom account, sometimes your work Zoom won't let you. You can reach me. Let me put my email in here. I forgot about that, Janine, is that firewalls won't let them through.
Okay.
You can email me and say, hey, Ben, could you send me the PDF and talk less? You're hurting my ears. You'll hurt my feelings if you say that, but that's okay. My feelings don't count. Nobody got my joke when I said don't wake up Hal or Skynet or Whopper. Okay, Jen. Yeah, I'll send that right to you, Jen. All right, Shane got it. Yeah, well, you got the Whopper one. Good. Skynet was the Terminator series. Hal was Space Odyssey 2001. See if you can find Vicky.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Janine, for having me.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben. It's very, very good information, and the document is very detailed and has a lot of information there, folks. So if you didn't see it, please grab Ben's email there, and he can get that to you. And again, we'll be back again in 2 weeks, I think it is, Ben, right?
2 weeks from today, same time.
Yeah. Learn to walk. So thank you, everyone. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Take care.